Pod. In today's show, I'll be breaking down the latest Bitcoin technical analysis and breaking news just in. Check this out. President of Colombia met with Samson Mow to discuss how Colombia can adopt Bitcoin as a legal tender. Let's go. And also breaking news, asset manager Panda joins the Bitcoin Spot ETF line, filing with the SEC today. They are now application number 13, and their firm is out of Texas. And quoting Max Kaiser, Bukelenomics forges a path forward for states who also embrace a Bitcoin standard. It's got radical transparency and accountability, and also recognizes the benefits of subsidizing and maintaining the public domain. Also breaking news, Mr. Rat Poison Squared himself, Charlie Munger, has officially died at age 99. We're also going to be discussing Jack Dorsey wanting to decentralize Bitcoin mining with a brand new investment. We're also going to be sharing Clear the Runway, open for all Bitcoin ETF approvals in January, according to the top ETF analysts. We'll also be discussing spot Bitcoin ETFs have almost $100 million in assets under management in Brazil, led by the Hashdex offering. Also in today's show, billionaire Peter Thiel, he predicts Bitcoin to 100x to $4 million per coin. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this plus so much more in today's show. And welcome everyone just joining us. Massive shout out to everyone in that live chat. What it do, my crypto fam? Let me know if the stream is loud and clear and smooth. Shout out to Sherry Young, good to see ya. What it do? Robbie Kaiser, good evening to you as well, fam. Good morning from Australia, says Glenn T. Welcome, fam. Daniel Shorley, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. OG Blockchain, what it do? Good to see you, my fam. Matthew J, shout out to all the mods. We got Maximus, we got Dankness, and the rest of the crew. Always good to see you, fam. Yes, Melanie, welcome. Love the channel. I'm a newbie, just started watching the show daily a couple of weeks ago. Well, welcome. Appreciate you tuning in. We've been here for like 5-6 years already, which is wild, but I appreciate your dedication and looking forward to seeing you each and every day. Yuck. Foo, Bitcoin of 4 million per coin. Why so bearish? You must have missed yesterday's episode. We discussed Fidelity's prediction of a $1 billion Bitcoin price action by the year 2038. If you missed it, be sure to check it out. It's pretty lit. What it do, Huddle King? Good to see you, family. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so from 1.5 million to 4 million range. Sounds great to me. That's right, Silas. You already know. What it do, Joey? Appreciate you tuning in. Shout out to churchyards and cemeteries, fairground from Cornwall, England. Shout out to all my brethren out there in the UK. What it do, broski? Rachel, welcome. Love your work. Thank you. Well, thank you for tuning in, supporting the movement. Greatly appreciate all the support you guys give. Means the world to me. Johnny Rose, welcome, fam, from Vancouver. How's it going, eh? Shout out to all my Canadians out there, all my brethren out there. Appreciate you guys tuning into the live show. What are you guys most excited about for Bitcoin this week? Do you think we're going to break 38.5, hit a new 18-month high? Let me know. Yesterday, we got quite close, only $200 away from testing that level. JC in the building. Shout out Justin Campbell. Good to see you, my fam. Matthew, what up? Will and all my Crypto News Alerts fam. Appreciate y'all. You guys are amazing. We have a lot to cover, so let's dive right in. To everybody new to the channel, be sure to smash the subscribe button to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day, just like this. Also be sure to smash the like, as it helps out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm. The goal is to get this channel to 100,000 subs, along with the Bitcoin price action. Today is podcast episode number 1476. I'm your host, JV, and today is November 29th, 2023. Just one more day of Moonvember until we hit December, and you already know January, we got some ETF deadlines, and then April, the block subsidy halving for 2024 is going to be lit, to say the least. But let's kick it off as we do each and every day with our market watch. You should be able to see Coin 360 on your screen. It shows you Bitcoin and the rest of the alts are currently correcting and in the red, but maintaining around the 38,000 level, just shy. Currently sitting at 37,882. Yesterday, we almost retested the local high for the past 18 months, which is 38.5. We hit about 38.3, and then we got pushed back down under 38. We have Ether still trading above 2,000 as XRP, Cardano, and BNB are all correcting and in the red. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, the current crypto market cap sits at $1.42 trillion with 55 billion in volume in the past 24 hours, up 20%. And the Bitcoin dominance is at 52.1%, with the Ether dominance at 17.2%. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers of the past 24 hours, we have IOTA massively leading the pack, up 54% on the day, trading just under 27 cents, followed by Terra Classic USD, up 22%, trading at 5.4 cents, followed by Blockstacks, up 5%, trading just under 75 cents. Now, which altcoins, if any, are you most bullish on for this bull run? Please let me know in the comments right down below. And checking out Crypto Bubbles so we can see a broader perspective of the current altcoin market. You can see the majority of the alts are correcting and in the red, by IOTA is blowing up 54%. And zooming out for the weekly, we got more in the green, clearly the majority, and some nice gains as well. And if we zoom out for the month, virtually everything is in the green with pretty substantial gains. Even FTT scam coin up 208%, and only a handful in the red, which includes Hex, eHex, and Bitcoin Cash. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, one of my favorite indicators. It shows we're currently rated a 72, which is greed. Yesterday was a 68, last week a 62, and last month a 68 in greed. So there you have it, my crypto fam. How many of you are currently bullish on the King Crypto? Please do let me know. And let's get back to the chat. Eric Castro, good to see you, my fam. JV, my eyes are open. I am eternally grateful for your content. I'm doubling down on solar panels. Financing a system large enough to power utilities and excess production will go to the Bitcoin mining. That's what's up, Eric. Massive congratulations. Super happy for you, fam. Thanks for sharing. The SEC will delay the ETF over the cash first in-kind ETF argument. It just started with BlackRock predicts will stop, son. Word up. Bitcoin ETF incoming, says Crypto Burger. Send it. Come on, baby. Come down to 35,000 one more time. Silas, does that going to make a drastic difference? I would take advantage of these price actions. I think we're going to retest 38, 38.5. And once we break through, we're heading right on up to 42 and say goodbye to the 30,000 range. Just my two Satoshis, fam. Matthew Morrell, good day. Good day, fam. Good to see you. The crypto Wild West is going to end, says Silas. They say that now that CZ has stepped down from Binance and they ushered in a new CEO. What it do, guys? Appreciate y'all. After this next Bitcoin rally, Bitcoin will become increasingly mainstream. That seems like the time to unload most of the alts. It'll be Bitcoin, Ethereum, and 3 to 4 others only. Well, right now there's like millions of coins in the market. It's wild, to say the least. Building a 6 support, you already know, Matt. And the more we test, the more likely we're to break that current resistance level. Shout out to Krista Ann Donnelly. I appreciate you subscribing to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. Axia Solar is the way, says OG. It's all good, says Sherry. Have you heard about the in-kind ETF argument the SEC just started? I have. We touched upon it in yesterday's episode and the day before. So absolutely. I'm going to purchase next week, says Daniel. Hope it works out. Well, congratulations. Get it while the going is good, especially at these prices. Silas says, yes, JV, in the longer term, 35,000 does not matter. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So smashed. Thank you, Laserface. I appreciate the smash likes. I appreciate the support. Much love and much respect. Comment Rumble if you simultaneously like both streams on YouTube and Rumble. Thanks for the reminder, Eric. For those who are not in the know, I stream simultaneously live on YouTube and Rumble at the same time. And when the YouTube stream ends, we continue with the uncensored version of Crypto News Alerts on Rumble. And I encourage you all to do the same and to be following me on Rumble for that reason. You should be doing so. Flood the chat with emojis. I appreciate that. Emojis are the way to go. Let's go. What do you think about the Deci and Gamma fee? I don't even know what that is, fam, so you'd have to enlighten me, please. So happy the dog is with you. Yeah, shout out to our official mascot of the show. That's Nipsey, the Great. Hey, bro, Tusca is Roshi's finale project. Definitely worth checking out, says Danny Bitcoin. Just buy it and don't worry about the price. There you go, Sherry. Sage advice. And with that being shared, let's check out the Bitcoin price action. We call that, what do we say here? That's astrology for men. So let's break this down. Check out the charts where the Bitcoin price action is likely to go next. Right here, Bitcoin shrank back from resistance after the November 29th Wall Street Open as the US GDP figures beat expectations. Right here, you're looking at the Bitcoin 1 hour candle chart. Now, data from Cointelegraph followed a familiar Bitcoin price retracement on the short time frames. The bulls had managed to propel the market above 38,000 the day prior. I think we hit 38.3, only to flip-flop around that level before ultimately dropping as the US macro data hit. This showed Q3 GDP accelerating beyond the anticipated levels, coming in at 5.2% versus 4.9%. This renewed concerns over how the Federal Reserve might handle policy ahead of an interest rates decision in mid-December. Quoting the Kabisi letter here, 5.2% is the final reading. It will mark the highest GDP growth since Q4 of 2022. Now, can the Fed achieve a soft landing? What are your thoughts, fam? Let me know. Kabisi referenced words from Bill Ackman, the CEO and founder of hedge fund Pershing Square Capital Management, who the day prior had gone on record to predict the Fed rate pivot as soon as Q1 2024. Quoting him here, yesterday, Bill Ackman bet on a hard landing with rate cuts beginning in Q1. Now, currently, futures don't see rate cuts beginning until June of 2024. And according to data from the CME Group's FedWatch tool, it showed marginally increasing bets on a further hike in December following the GDP release, with further key data due November 30th, which is tomorrow, Thursday. The odds of a hike stood at 4.2% at the time of this recording. Now, meanwhile, analysts continue acting in a familiar style from the recent days as far as the price action. Bulls still failed to crack a key resistance beginning at 38.5. That's the line in the sand we need to smash, and then we're heading onwards and upwards, just FYI. Despite some being confident that an assault on 40,000 would ultimately result, no HH or breakout confirmation yet, referring to a higher high, eyeing a sweep of 37.3 area and a higher low setup for the higher high, according to popular trader Scoo, as he shares here on X. Bitcoin with the 4-hour chart, no higher breakout confirmation yet, eyeing a sweeping of 37.3 area and a higher low setup for the higher high. Let me know if you agree or disagree. And we also have Dan Crypto Trades suggesting a period of flatter Bitcoin price performance could now enter before a fresh bout of upside volatility. Quoting Dan here, price took out some liquidity above and below. Would not surprise me to see some more sideways chop for both sides to build up more positions before the next bigger move. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the sentiment. And an accompanying chart showed the liquidity for Bitcoin on the largest global exchange, Binance, eyeing potential downside opportunities. Crypto analyst Mikhail Pop flagged a range between 33 and 35,000, which is a popular zone based upon the liquidity. Quoting the analyst here, markets are consolidating, giving opportunities. Still no breakout of Bitcoin above 38,000. If we continue to make higher lows, higher highs, a breakout seems to be happening soon. Structure loss, buying at 33 to 35,000. So there you have it, my crypto fam. Let me know if you agree or disagree with this sentiment from the analysts. I also like to point out, like clockwork, the mystery whale adds an additional 612.5 Bitcoin to their balance this morning for a total of 11,005 BTC. And a quick shout out to Krista Donnelly. I appreciate you sending your very first super chat ever and supporting the show. It means a lot. So massive shout out. Appreciate the love, my fam. But back here, as you can see, this is the 6th straight day of adding over 500 BTC. So who is this mystery whale? Who do you think, fam? And oddly enough, in the middle of last night, they added a single TX of 3,817 sats for $1.45. So what's up with this mystery? Let me know. Could this be a massive institution such as of BlackRock buying Bitcoin? Let me know what your thoughts are. And also, check this out. Major news. Shout out to Samson Mow. The president of Colombia met with Samson Mow on Jan 3 to discuss how Colombia can adopt Bitcoin. Let's freaking go. You already know how massive this would be. I've actually lived in Colombia. I lived in Medellin for 6 months a few years back, and I had a great time there. I think this would be massive for adoption of Bitcoin. Clearly, you got Samson Mow making some big moves, helping usher in this Bitcoin adoption. He's working with some of the leaders in Mexico and in Africa and all around the world, making big moves. So let's go. And which country do you feel will likely adopt Bitcoin next as the legal tender? Could it be Argentina? Could it be Brazil? May it be Colombia? What are your thoughts, fam? Let me know. Also, breaking news, asset manager Panda joins the Bitcoin Spot ETF line, filing with the SEC today. Now, Panda is a firm out of Texas, and this makes application number 13, and they are on the back of the line. So Mr. Gary Gensler, when are we going to get some clarity? When are we going to get these ETFs approved? There are so many just awaiting, and he's the only man standing in the way. And quoting the high priest of Bitcoin, the one and only Max Kaiser, Bukelenomics forges a path forward for states who also embrace a Bitcoin standard. It has got radical transparency and accountability, also recognizes the benefits of subsidizing and maintaining the public domain. And if you haven't watched the new interview, well, it's not necessarily an interview, but it's a speech of Bukele. It's very, very powerful, and he's basically saying he's going to be focusing on his new campaign running for president 2024 in El Salvador, and basically saying that nobody can be crooked within his party because he is clearly a good president, not crooked. He's not taking money or stealing money like a lot of politicians do, and he doesn't want anyone represented in his party to do so either. So otherwise, it would tarnish his image. So he said the attorney general and the forces that be are going to be looking into everybody who is a part of his party because they will not tolerate it. So you got to give respect where respect is due. Shout out to Bukele and the beautiful people of El Salvador. What up, Izzy? Mexico, AMLO, to be the next Bitcoin adoption. Send it. Let's go. Massive shout out to Mexico. What up, Crypto News Alerts fam? Shout out J-Dub the Laker. Good to see you, my fam. The mystery whale could simply be a miner. That's true. We don't know who it is, Dirty. I would think a large institution might have numerous buys for the same amount of dollars. You would think on Matrix, and there's other ways to basically stack sats without being publicly acknowledged and suppressing the price action by indirectly investing into Bitcoin miners, which we know BlackRock is already doing. BlackRock, for Christ's sake, has a share in literally over 80% of the companies in the S&P 500. So they virtually own a piece of everything, including MicroStrategy, including Coinbase, and the rest of them. It's wild. What up, Mike? That whale just may be my daily Bitcoin purchase. I hope it is, Mike, for your sake. That'd be lit. Caspa says Crypto Quantum. Fairground says it's probably Elon. Wouldn't that be something? Corona Free says stack them. You already know, stacking them stats like there's no tomorrow. I like to do the cha-cha, says Christopher. Miners selling directly to institutions are screwing us all, keeping down the prices. It does seem to be this way. Hodl fam, shout out Johnny Saint, appreciate you tuning in. Rudy DePlane, smash that like fam, we live, appreciate that. Shout out Andy Surfer. We need to be very wary of Thiel. He has forked tongue. Yeah, I mean, reference Whitney Webb. Word. I meant decentralized science and gaming finance as far as crypto goes. Do you have any thoughts? I am not familiar with decentralized science, but I know there's a lot of pseudoscience, and I disagree with a lot of the propaganda. So I think it would be good if we had some transparency in science, to say the least. What are your thoughts, guys? What up, J-Dub? The miners, I mean, they're doing what they do. I mean, it's still a great time to be stacking them stats. Glad to be alive, and sending a big hug to the fam for the daily Bitcoin updates. Thank you, Houdini Crypto JRS. I appreciate you tuning in and supporting the movement. Much love, much respect. But we have a lot to share. Breaking news. Charlie Munger, the man who infamously called Bitcoin rat poison squared, is officially dead. That's right. He died at age 99. Let's break this down. Check this out. Here we go. Charlie Munger, the longtime business partner and right-hand man of Warren Buffett and vice chairman of the multinational holding company, Berkshire Hathaway, died at the age of 99. And what's ironic, he would have been 100 just in like another month in January. The company announced, that was yesterday, Munger's proclamations, much like Buffett's, were often eminently quotable takedowns of bad investments and few assets raised. His eerie, like Bitcoin, quoting him here, "I think it's rat poison," he famously said all the way back in 2013 when Bitcoin was worth $150. And when asked to revisit his comments 5 years later, when Bitcoin was trading at 9,000, he said, "It is more expensive rat poison." And when pressed on the returns some Bitcoin investors were able to make, he called them idiot booms that harm the United States. Now, we all know he was like one of the biggest, if not the biggest, Bitcoin troll. Berkshire Hathaway annual meetings were often called Woodstock for capitalists, and putting Munger and Buffett on stage was a top draw. And asking about crypto was a reliable way to get them to use colorful language. That's right, quoting him here, "In my life, I try to avoid things that are stupid and evil and maybe look bad in comparison with somebody else," he said in 2018. Bitcoin does all three. Shout out to Lee. I greatly appreciate that super chat. Let me read your comment out loud. Bitcoin maxi here, dollar cost averaging since 2017, but everyone knows about Bitcoin, so I've been spreading the word about Jesus coin. God bless your family, friends, mods, and subs. Thank you, fam. I greatly appreciate you supporting the channel. Much love, much respect. Back to Munger, quoting him again. "It's stupid because it is very likely to go to zero. It's evil because it undermines the Federal Reserve System." That is the most hilarious comment I have ever heard. And third, it makes us look foolish compared to the communist leader in China. What's up with that? Now, Xi Jinping was smart enough to ban Bitcoin in China. We're a lot dumber, said Charlie Munger. I mean, you got to laugh at all this at the end of the day. 3 years later, Munger was still fuming, quoting him again. "I just think the whole damn development is disgusting and contrary to the interests of civilization," he said early 2022, comparing crypto to a venereal disease, deeming it beneath contempt, for Christ's sake. Now, obviously, you took this personal. Even at 99 years old, he mustered more fiery condemnation at the Daily Journal Corporation annual meeting earlier in the year, quoting him again. "Sometimes I call it crypto crapple. Sometimes I call it, well, crypto-ish," he said, going on to use the term a half a dozen times during the course of the conversation. "It's ridiculous that anyone would buy this stuff. It is asinine. It is not slightly stupid. It's massively stupid. It's very dangerous. The governments were totally wrong to permit it. I am not proud of my country for allowing this crypto-ish. It's worthless. It's no good. It's crazy. It'll do nothing but harm." Now, very interesting. It's not that the government permitted it. It's because the government can't stop it. It's free speech. It's protected by our First Amendment right. Just saying. Now, while Munger's attacks ruffled crypto backers, his candor was lost a long part of Berkshire's folksy public image. He worked alongside Buffett for decades, offering investment wisdom almost as quotable as the Oracle of Omaha himself. Berkshire Hathaway said Munger died peacefully in a California hospital. Buffett paid tribute to Munger's inspiration, wisdom, and participation in building Berkshire into a conglomerate it is today. So there you have it. What are your thoughts on the passing of Charlie Munger? Are you going to miss him? Are you going to miss his rants against Bitcoin? Are you glad he perished? I'm just curious. Whatever your thoughts are, I'll read them out loud. Appreciate it. Passive says, "You the man, Lee." Yeah, much love, Lee. "What's going on, Trini?" Appreciate you tuning in. Shout out to Emilio Gonzalez. Welcome, family. "The Bitcoin bubble song is the best," says Christopher. Word up. "I respect Munger," says Jeff Rhodes. "Bitcoin didn't come on the scene until he was 85. No doubt it was a strange concept to him. It is okay to be wrong. Everyone will be. What's unforgivable is staying wrong," says Joey86. Word up. "Munger died because he refused to be proven wrong. Tough guy. R.I.P. Do you think Munger's hate for Bitcoin killed him? I mean, hate is not good. I'll just tell you that much. If you have hate in your heart, you'll probably shorten your lifespan. Just common knowledge, right? You want to be happy, at peace, So to hold on to any animosity or hate towards anything is asinine in my humble opinion. But let me know your thoughts, guys. Good riddance, says Joey. Hello, JV, loud and clear. Appreciate the mic check. Grant Dunn, much love, much respect. Daps to Bitcoin Trini. We are about to pump. Well, pump it up. What are we waiting for? Let's go. Again, yesterday we hit 38.3. I think we retest 35. We blow right past it. 42, the next logical target. In my humble opinion, let's freaking go. Eric says another one bites the dust. And another one. And another one. It is true. RIP. Rest in peace, Munger. Word. Glad to be live. Sending a big hug. Appreciate you guys there. Much love, much respect. But anyways, fam, let's dive into our next story of the day. Now that we broke down the latest with Munger passing, let's discuss this new decentralized mining project with Jack Dorsey. And I saw some pictures with Jack and Max and Stacy just the other day. So let's break down the latest of what's going on here. Twitter co-founder and Bitcoin advocate Jack Dorsey is backing a new Bitcoin mining pool to help the miners regain control of the block rewards and transaction fees. Dorsey led a 6.2 million seed round for Mamolin, the parent company of the new decentralized Bitcoin mining pool called Ocean, according to the announcement today, November 29th. The seed funding will support the launch of Ocean, which is designed to decentralize and reshape the process of Bitcoin mining. The mining pool specifically aims to provide more mining process transparency and enable the miners to receive block rewards directly from Bitcoin rather than from the Bitcoin mining pools. Interesting. Now, Luke Desher, Mumolin's co-founder and longtime Bitcoin core developer, believes that the role of the mining pools must change for Bitcoin to exist as a truly decentralized currency. Quoting him here, Ocean is a new type of pool that enables the miners to be truly miners again. We are launching at the most transparent pool and also the only non-custodial pool where miners are the recipients of the new block rewards directly from Bitcoin. Now, Mumolin co-founder and president Mark Artemakov stressed that traditional Bitcoin mining pools take exclusive custody of the block rewards and the transaction fees before distributing them amongst the miners. This gives them the ability to withhold payment from individual miners, whether by their own choice or by legal requirement. And quoting him again, Ocean's non-custodial payouts directly to the miners from the block reward remove this risk and the pool's undue influence over the miners. So committed Ocean supporters of Dorsey, they're confident that the platform will solve the problem of further centralization of pools and mining pools that could plague BTC. Quoting him here, when I see a project that is good for Bitcoin broadly, and that's also good for me and my companies personally, it becomes a simple decision for me, and I am happy to be a part of it. So there you have it. The launch of Ocean was announced at the Future of the Bitcoin Mining Conference in the shadows of Barefoot Mining's 150-year-old hydroelectric dam in rural South Carolina. Now, Barefoot Mining, the first client of Ocean, has fully repurposed the dam, converting excess energy to Bitcoin mining at scale. Now, Ocean's launch comes 139 days before Bitcoin's fourth halving, expected to occur April 17th, 2024, roughly 5 months out. Cannot wait. After the halving, the current 6.25 mining reward per block will drop to 3.125 BTC, significantly decreasing the incentives for the Bitcoin miners. So there you have it. What are your thoughts on this decentralized mining project with Jack Dorsey? And how many of you have any experience mining Bitcoin? Please do let me know, fam. And are you pretty ecstatic for the halving? How many of you, this will be your very first halving? Is this going to be your second, third, fourth halving? Please do let me know. Joel Thompson, welcome, fam. This is JT from Cleveland, Ohio. I finally made it to a live. Congratulations. Been watching you since 2020. Wow. Hallowed be thy name. There you go, fam. Thanks for tuning into the live. Hope you're enjoying the experience. Grant Dunn, welcome, fam. Thank you for your hard work. You are very welcome. Laser says, I would be nervous if I see the way I am making my living coming to an end. I guess you're referring to Charlie Munger there. Yeah, if you're already a fiat billionaire, more than likely you're going to perceive Bitcoin as an enemy, just as he perceived Bitcoin as an enemy to the Fed, because it is. Bitcoin was designed to decapitate the head of the central banks. That's a fact. Bitcoin is in direct competition, and eventually fiat currency is all going to go to zero against Bitcoin. By the time Bitcoin's 10 million per coin, that means fiat currency would have effectively lost 99.9% of its value. And we already know who the apex predator is. So let's go. Diana Jones, welcome. First halving. Well, congratulations. It gets exciting when we cross hit price discovery. That means we enter a price we have never seen previously. So the current price discovery would be at roughly the 69,000 level. It becomes so exciting to watch because we don't know how high we're going to go, but we know we're going to blow past it. That's a given. Grateful, finally, 10 BTC and first halving. Massive congratulations, MM. Well done. A lot of people can't even say they're a whole coiner. So to have 10 Bitcoin is a pretty big deal. Well done. Cryptolution, thanks for the reminder to smash the likes. I appreciate it. JT says he was a man, a human in flesh. Let's not throw shade at someone who has passed. Rest in peace. Word up. Looking kind of pale. Don't forget to touch grass sometimes. Hey, you're referring to me? I do need to get some more sunshine. I've been so busy doing these shows for hours a day. But yeah, you're right. I need some sun. I haven't played basketball in a minute, and typically I play a lot and I get a nice little tan. But hey, appreciate the insights, Captain Banana. Jeff says, first halving, what do you think will impact Bitcoin more, the halving or the ETF approval? Wow, that's a great question. There's no telling because it's unprecedented times, but we know every, cycle Bitcoin goes through 4 years, the price hits a new all-time high, typically adding a zero to the end of the price action. So from today's price, hypothetically, if we were to add a zero to the end, it'd be $370,000 per coin. And from the all-time high, if we added a zero, that'd be $690,000 per coin. Now the ETF, I think over the long haul is going to be massively bullish. It's when you combine the two together in the same year at around the same time, it's going to get lit. Which will be a more bullish catalyst? I don't even know. I just know they're both extremely bullish, to say the least. Shout out to Emilio Gonzalez, no sleeper till Brooklyn and BTC. Amen, fam. Appreciate the super. Much love and much respect. Send it. What it do, facts. Good to see you, my fam. As we continue to pumpage, let's go. Pump it up. Steven says, Bitcoin is a buy below 35 G's, but you may not get it. I bought more Bitcoin in ETH this morning. Congratulations, Steve. Well done. I mean, if you're in it for the long haul, there's no difference between 37 and 35. You may be waiting for the perfect price action, but the perfect price action is right now in the flesh because you don't know if we're going to go up or if we're going to correct a little more. So well done. Keep stacking them sats. Huddle gang, where you at? Let's freaking go. And with that being shared, let's break down the latest of what's happening with these Bitcoin ETFs, shall we? Apparently, we got the green light to go in January. So let's break this down. Bitcoin spot exchange traded funds in the United States now have the clear runway to potential simultaneous approvals after an advanced decision to delay the bids of Franklin Templeton and Hashdeck ETFs, according to analysts. In a November 28th post, Bloomberg ETF analyst James Seyfarth said the US SEC delayed its decision on the applications 34 days earlier than January 1st, 2024 decision deadline. The SEC requested comments on forms by Franklin Templeton and Hashdecks that are necessary for the ETFs to eventually be listed to begin trading. The comment and rebuttal period will last for 35 days. Now, Seyfarth and his colleague Eric Balchunas placed 90% odds on spot Bitcoin ETF approvals by January 10th, 2024. What is that? Roughly 45 days out. So mark that date in your calendar, fam. And the twin delays all but confirms for me that this was likely a move to line every applicant for potential approval by the January 10th, 2024 deadline, according to the expert himself. Now, Balchunas agreed, posting to X that the SEC was probably looking to get them out of the way, clearing the runway. Quoting him here, update, wow, the SEC went super early on Franklin. They weren't due for another decision until January 1st. Notably, Franklin is the only issuer who didn't submit an updated S1 yet. Wonder if that will have any impact here. And you can see the second deadline being January 1st of 2024 for Franklin. Now, scrolling down a little bit more, he also said probably looking to get them out of the way, specifically to clear the runway. And commercial litigator Joe Carlasar thinks the delays increase the probability of a March 2024 approval as the comment period for Franklin's ETF bid was extended till January 3rd of next year. And the SEC typically takes a maximum of 3 weeks to review the comments. Quoting Joe here on X, the Franklin Bitcoin Spot ETF comment period now extends until January 3rd. The SEC typically reviews comments for at least 2 to 3 weeks. Therefore, although it's not guaranteed, this This increases the probability of a March approval. January is still likely the favorite though. So there you have it. Let me know in the live chat. There is a live poll right now. When do you feel we get the green light for the ETF approvals? Please do let me know. Cast your vote. Now, January is still his favorite, later estimating it to happen January 5th or the 8th. Now on November 28th, Franklin also submitted an updated Form S-1 for its ETF, a document registering their securities with the SEC. And after Safeheart had earlier highlighted, it was the only bidder yet to submit an updated prospectus. And reacting to the filing, Balchunas said he is in favor of letting all the ETFs launch simultaneously. It seems kind of unfair that Franklin might be allowed to launch its ETF the same day as other providers despite submitting the form months later, and he makes a great point there, so let me know your thoughts. He also shared, while I'm generally in favor of letting them launch at the same time, Franklin jumped in so late versus these others, like 5 months after ARK filed, yet they may be able to launch the same day. Seems unfair. Now there's currently now officially 13, because there was a new one just added today, as I shared with you earlier. ETFs sitting on the desk of the chairman, Gary Gensler, including bids from Grayscale and BlackRock. Most have final decision dates in March, besides ARK's Invest bid, with the SEC, which must approve or deny by January 10th of 2024. So there you have it, my crypto fam. When do you feel they're likely to give us the green light? When do you think the ETFs will finally launch? And how do you think this will likely impact the Bitcoin price action? Please do let me know, and I'm going to read some of these comments out loud. Alice, welcome. Appreciate the smash like. Christmas Day approval, most likely. That would be a lit Merry Christmas, to say the least. Chris, exactly. Everyone looking to buy Bitcoin lower is likely sitting on near zero Bitcoin and will FOMO in much higher. It seems to be that way. Rookies, it is what it is. I mean, smash the like, it's free and we need more. Thank you, Emilio, appreciate that. Jaguar Cloud, appreciate you tuning in. John L. Voth, say what? That's right, hit that like. Yep, when Bitcoin is worth 4.5 million, you won't care if you paid 35 G's or 38. You will just be grateful you bought it. Well said, Jeff Rhodes, 100%. Here's the plan. Dollar cost average, Bitcoin every paycheck or month, and whenever it drops over 20%, load the frickin' boat. That'll get you there, says Nate. Hodl Gang, says Christopher. Where my upstate New Yorkers at, says JT. I see you're from Buffalo, eh? Let's go. Jimmy, Third Secret of Fatima can be understood. Series book has a cult status in Slavic countries. You must first part in English. Snake from the East is coming, says Kevin. Interesting thoughts there. What do you say? 25,000 buy. What is the difference when it's 1 million? That's right. 25, 30, or 35 makes no difference. 100% with you on that. You deserve 100,000 subs. Wait until, yeah, this bull, we're gonna blow past 100. I'm more looking at 600,000. We need to 10x. We're at 60,000 subs. But I've been here for 5 freaking years. We've been through hell and back, but we survived. We've been terminated, reinstated, rejuvenated, rehabilitated, but we ain't going nowhere. Let's go. We'll have a good start for the next year. You already know Mike. Much love, fam. Let's go. Bitcoin is cheap now. Buy it if you have the money, says on Matrix. That's what's up. I am all good with 0.5 BTC. Halfway to a whole coiner. Yay. Well, congratulations there. You're on the right track. Let's pick up a game of rolling. Let's go. $100,000 party. Fiesta. I'm down to play some ball games. You want to ball with me? Let's ball. Let's go. Yo, let's go. What's the best way to buy a reader crypto in the US? Current Coinbase customer. I'm not sure that question, fam. Type error, forgive me. You definitely deserve 100,000 plus, way underrated. Thank you, JB. Thank you, Grandon. Appreciate your guys' support. You guys are too kind. Much love, much respect. Let's now dive into our next story of the day. We discussed the spot ETFs in the United States. Now let's discuss the spot ETFs in Brazil. Shall we? Check this out. Spot Bitcoin ETFs have almost 100 million already in assets under management in Brazil, led by Hashdex. Let's go. As investors continue to await the approval of the spot ETF in the United States, a check of Brazil finds hefty demand for such vehicles, which have been trading in the country for more than 2 years. Together, those ETFs have $96.8 million of assets under management as of November 21st, led by Hashdex's NASDAQ Bitcoin reference price FDI with $57.8 million as of November 21st, or a market share of roughly 60%. And at comparison, the largest ETF in the nation, iShares, has $2.41 billion in assets under management and is the second largest. The iShares small cap has $1.19 billion. And for reference, the largest US ETF has roughly $430 billion in assets under management. So according to Marcelo, the CEO and founder of Hashdex, the success of Bitcoin's ETFs in Brazil is a result of the pro-market digital asset regulation and growing interest from large institutions for said products. Quoting them here, there is a growing positive sentiment across the most sophisticated investors, and we have been seeing increasing interest from some of the largest institutions, whether they be either allocating or considering adding crypto soon to their portfolios, said Sam Xiao in an interview with CoinDesk. Hashdex spot Bitcoin ETF started trading August 1st of 2021. Like, whoa, they've had a spot for that long. Crazy. I mean, Gary, clearly you're doing something wrong, bro. Just saying. Hashdex also offers a crypto index ETF that includes Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other cryptos, and which garners a lot more investment than the spot Bitcoin ETF. Now combined, Hashdex's crypto-related ETF assets under management is currently sitting at roughly $500 million. That's $500 million. Hashdex is also amongst those with outstanding applications for spot Bitcoin ETFs with the US SEC. The agency, as it's done with other applicants as of late, last week delayed any decision on the Hashdex filing. Other spot Bitcoin ETF providers in Brazil include Itaú, the asset management, which teamed up with Mike Novogratz's Galaxy Digital to launch a fund last year, and an offering from QR Capital, which launched in 2021, has $36 million in assets under management, according to the data from Hashdex. There has traditionally been a lot of interest in crypto ETFs from the Brazilian public, said Silva, a managing partner of Tagas Capital, and the number of investors in digital asset ETFs will only continue to grow. That's right. Let's go. There are about 4 million investors with accounts at the B3 stock exchange in Brazil, and around 700,000 of these invest in ETFs. About 1/3 of those investors allocated funds to crypto ETFs just last year. So a reason for a strong appetite in ETF investing in Brazil might be due to the low fees, according to Silva. ETF fees in Brazil range from 0.5% to 1.5%, which is considerably low compared to the other products in the market. So there you have it, my crypto fam. Brazil, let's go. Do you think Brazil can potentially adopt Bitcoin as a legal tender? Let me know your thoughts, as there's been a lot of talk about that. I'm going to read some more comments, and then we'll dive into our breaking story of the day, discuss Peter Thiel's prediction that Bitcoin can 100x from the current price action to 4 million per coin. Also have a bonus prediction for you from Michael Saylor as well to throw in there. Yeah, the fees on Coinbase suck. All you have to do is see where we are headed, and the fees won't make a difference in the long term, says Matt. ME, Coinbase is the most risk adverse in my honest opinion. Gemini is also an option. The fees are killer though. There are other options, but can get risky with Gary's rage. That is true. Your hat is what makes Bitcoin go up. Oh, I'm missing the hat today. Is that why we're not pumping right now? Man, I should have wore the hat. I had to get the fresh cut today. I was long overdue, so. UFO Nut, welcome fam, from Albany originally. Good to note. Hey, Crypto News Alerts fam, greetings from Rapa Nui, Easter Island, home of MOAI, stone statues. We're watching you from the most isolated island on the planet. Pura Vida fam, I appreciate your support down there. Much love. Let's go. Yes, let's get it fam. I mean, the market is about to be lit. We're sitting pretty heading into 2024. Bitcoin's already up 130% on the year, and this is supposed to be a bearish year. So just imagine what's going to occur in 2024, the year of the 2024 halving, and the year of the ETF approval, and the year of the supply shock. There's roughly only 2 million Bitcoin currently sitting on the exchanges, so you already know. The Kraken fees are less. That is right. And it's interesting how the SEC has been targeting Kraken, right? They settled initially 10 months ago and paid the SEC $30 million, and now Gary just came for round 2 and suing them again and deeming many of their cryptos on the exchange as unregistered securities, including Solana and Polygon, right? Tony Jeffries is managing a tune-in from Turkey. Word up, Tony. Appreciate you tuning in, fam. Jack Dorsey, he ruined Twitter by censoring any 2 + 2 = 4 speech. What do you pay on Coinbase for a Bitcoin from a bank account? 1%, asked Silas. Bitcoin was 0.009 in 2009. Berkshire was $65.72. Oh my God. Not even 1%. So less than 1%, says Matt. Bitcoin ETF will be denied in January of 2024. If I was a betting man, Ash, I'd also say they're going to deny it just because look at the track record. They've been denying these spot ETFs for over a decade, 10 years. Right? So they're going to continue to deny until they're forced to approve. But we're getting closer and closer to them being forced to approve it. So that's the silver lining. Just subscribed. When Bitcoin goes to zero, I'm buying it all, says Tail Gunner. Well, if Bitcoin did go to zero, that would be hysterical, right? Ash, very small chance that all 13 Bitcoin ETFs won't be approved. It would be wild. It'd make Gary look 10 times worse than he truly is, right? I mean, what's the logic? They're out of excuses. They can't make up any more excuses. And we know if BlackRock wants the ETF, which they clearly do, they're going to get what they want. BlackRock is too powerful to not get what they want. That's why they have that track record with the SEC of 575 to 1, meaning they've received 575 ETF approvals and have only ever been denied one time. Right? So Larry Fink is not used to being told no. That, my friend, is a fact. Coinbase fees are tiered depending upon how much you are buying in each transaction. Krona Free says first halving started HODL November of 2021, on sale now, 40% off. You already know. Do you guys also invest in altcoins or just Bitcoin? You guys can let us know. That's a good question. I think it's a mixed bag here in the show. Matt, if Bitcoin crashed, then that's a great buy opportunity. You guys already know. So take advantage of these dips, BTFD. Let's freaking go. But now let's break down our feature story of the day. Billionaire investor Peter Thiel, and one of the original PayPal founders. He predicts Bitcoin to 100x to $4 million per coin. In fact, he was one of the keynote speakers at the Bitcoin Miami conference in 2022. How many of you were at that conference? I was there with my brother. It was pretty lit. There was probably over 20,000 people in the audience. We had a lot of Bitcoin influencers there. You even had Serena Williams, Francis Ngannou, you name it. It was pretty awesome, to say the least. But anyways, let's break down this major story, and then I'm going to be sharing a little bonus prediction from you from Michael Saylor, predicting Bitcoin reaching $5 million per coin. And if we have time, I'll even throw in a little Kathy Wood update prediction as well about Bitcoin hitting 1.48 million per coin, which is her bullish scenario. But first and foremost, billionaire PayPal co-founder Peter Thiel shared the list of enemies stopping Bitcoin from rising 100x. This was last year while speaking at the Bitcoin 2022 conference of Miami, Florida. Quoting him here, the enemies list is a list of people who I think are stopping Bitcoin. There is a lot of them. They tend to have nameless, faceless, bureaucratic perspectives, which of course is one of the ways in which they hide. Now check it, he said, we are going to try to expose them and realize that this is sort of what we have to fight for Bitcoin to go up 10x or 100x from here. Now, FYI, at the time he gave the speech, Bitcoin was hovering just above 40,000, probably close to the $42,000 level. So 100x from the time he made the prediction would mean a $4 million plus Bitcoin price action. Now, the central banks are going bankrupt. We're at the end of the fiat money regime. Preach. The first person on the list is Berkshire Hathaway CEO Warren Buffett. Thiel put up a picture of Buffett with two of his most famous quotes about Bitcoin: rat poison, and I don't own any, and I never will. He opined, I think the sociopathic grandpa of Omaha, that's the best name by the way, is perhaps the most honest and most direct in it. Thiel further noted Buffett has a bias that makes him long on the fiat money system, and money managers who follow Berkshire Hathaway's executive advice will pretend it's complicated to invest into Bitcoin. Now, the next person on the list of Bitcoin enemies is the infamous JP Morgan Chase CEO, Jamie the Tapeworm Dimon. Thiel put Dimon's picture up with the following quote: I don't call them cryptocurrencies, I call them crypto tokens because currencies have rules of law behind them, central banks, and tax with authorities. Now, Jamie Dimon also once called Bitcoin a pet rock and threatened any of his employees at JP Morgan would be fired for trading Bitcoin. And that same week, he was purchasing over 400 million worth of Bitcoin for his trading desk. So listen to none of these fools. They know what's up. They understand the power of Bitcoin, but they're just here to deceive you. The next picture he put up, you may find this interesting, is the BlackRock CEO, Mr. Lawrence, aka Larry Fink, with the following quote: "I see huge opportunities in a digitized crypto blockchain related currency, and that's where I think this is going." Now, interestingly enough, Larry Fink is the CEO of the largest asset manager in the world, BlackRock. He once called Bitcoin an index for money laundering. He was heavily anti-Bitcoin and anti-crypto, but now he has changed his stance, complete 180, embracing Bitcoin and looking to launch their own spot Bitcoin ETF, as well as an Ethereum ETF. Now, next up, here's what he shared. The PayPal co-founder added that Fink's quote is somewhat representative of the whole genre of Bitcoin attacks that need further context, stating that pro-blockchain is an anti-Bitcoin term very typically. Thiel then brought up environmental, social, and governance standards, elaborating the label they've come up with, and perhaps the real enemy is ESG. I think that ESG is just a hate factory. We all know they were pumping that massive FUD. Even Elon was buying into this narrative, right? Would stop accepting Bitcoin payments to buy Teslas, right? He stressed you can always ask the questions, what's the difference between ESG and CCP, the Chinese Communist Party? When you think ESG, you should be thinking CCP. So much respect to Thiel for calling them out on this. You got to have balls. It is the finance gentocracy that runs the country through whatever silly virtual signaling hate factory to them like ESG that they have, the billionaire concluded. This is what I would call, and what you have to think of as, a revolutionary youth movement. And we have to just go out from this conference and take over the world. So there you have it. Now, I must also share, Peter Thiel dumped the majority of his Bitcoin position at the height, roughly at around the time of the conference, because that's what I read. So I just wanted to share that to be 100% transparent. Now for Michael Saylor. Saylor revealed 3 catalysts recently, which will take the Bitcoin price to $5 million per coin. Here are the 3 catalysts. Spot Bitcoin ETF approval, which is inevitable. Again, 90% likelihood we get the approval in January. Then number 2, banks custody and lend against Bitcoin as collateral, which we all know is coming soon. And number 3, fair value accounting rules, which have already been approved. So there you have it. This alone, those 3 factors, can send Bitcoin to $5 million per coin. But let's dive down a little deeper, quoting Michael Saylor from an interview I transcribed and shared here on X that got a lot of retweets and a lot of love. So I think you guys will like it. I think there are only 3 things relevant right now, and here are those 3 things. The halving is coming with 100% certainty. Facts. And as far as I can see, most of the selling of Bitcoin in the market is the Bitcoin miners that have to sell in order to pay their electricity bills and pay their debt expenses, as well as their operating expenses. So that amount of selling pressure is going to be cut in half in a few months, so we know that's coming. And then we know there's a spot Bitcoin ETF coming, and when that comes, we plug into Wall Street and the entire banking system. And then finally, the fair value accounting is coming, and when that happens, the objective will all go away. Now you're going to introduce this as a conversation into hundreds of boardrooms. They will not move in a week, they move quarterly, but over the course of 12 quarters, you'll start to see company after company looking at this, and you'll start to see a reallocation of assets. At the end of the day, corporations only hold 2 assets. They hold cash and they hold bonds. And so if Bitcoin is available as an asset pari passu to a bond, then you'll see a reallocation from bonds and into Bitcoin. And then in the institutional investor side, you've got all these people holding real estate, holding commodities, holding gold, holding ETF and SP indexes, the like. And as so, we start to reallocate, and they will 1%, 2%, and then 5%. Then you're going to have something that has never happened in the history of the world, which is you got an ETF on a commodity that is scarce. Every other ETF in the world is on an asset that is not scarce. It's inflationary. Facts. You can go to make more buildings, you can make more real estate, you can make more gold, you can make more commodities, you can make $4 billion worth of any of those things. The underlying producers produce more of the asset or deflate or to depreciate the price. But with Bitcoin, with $100 billion of flows into the Bitcoin spot ETF, there won't be any ability for any producer to produce any more Bitcoin. And so you really can't compare it to the spot and ETF of gold because gold is an inflationary asset, and you can't compare it to an ETFs on real estate or on bonds or on equity. You really have to say, this is the first time we've ever plugged Wall Street into an asset you cannot produce any more of. That's right. This will actually represent true price discovery in an ETF market for the first time in human history. And this is such a big deal. That's why we're entering unprecedented times, fam. And so nobody knows what will happen except that if the reason from first principles, you know that it's actually going to perform better than all the other asset ETFs because the underlying fundamentals are just better. But let me lay out 3 possible ways to invest into Bitcoin. One, if you buy Bitcoin, the underlying asset, which is what most of us do, we self-custody our crypto. That's, no brainer. The second, you buy the spot ETF, or the third, you buy MicroStrategy. Okay, we talked about the headaches of buying Bitcoin, the underlying asset. You can do it on a crypto exchange. You can put the place of parallel custody, compliance, compensation, control systems, so that the challenge of that. But the closest thing and the most compelling idea for a plain vanilla Bitcoin investment of an institutional investor is to buy the spot ETF. You'll be getting one-to-one correlation, meaning they actually have to hold on their balance sheet the Bitcoin as an underlying asset, whereas with futures markets, they don't hold any of the Bitcoin. It's all paper, derivatives, weapons of mass destruction, just saying. So for 1 million, you're getting in the 1 million range of Bitcoin. What's the positive? It's marginal. It's good collateral. I can buy in a second with no money down. I don't need to build a parallel custody control compensation system. So all of my problems are handled by Wall Street. What's the cost? That's 50 to 100 basis points per year. Okay, so if I charge you 1% per year over the course of 20 years or over the course of your lifetime, it kind of means I take 20% of the money you invested at 1%. So do note that if you invest for the long haul into a spot ETF, over the long haul, they're taking 20% of your investment. That's a lot. Right? Now there's a cost. 50 basis points means I get 10% of your money, approximately. But having said it all, I would pay you 50 to 100 basis points. In order to be plugged into Wall Street, it's not a problem. It's a lot better than the alternative, which is to rebuild all their systems and then finance themselves. So MicroStrategy is not that. MicroStrategy you can think of as a levered long Bitcoin company that pays you a yield. Listen up. Okay, so I'm not going to call it an ETF because we're not a financial company, but we have $4.4 billion plus of Bitcoin and $2 billion plus worth of debt. Shout out to Zero. I appreciate that super chat, fam. Much love. So what we have done is we have levered the balance sheet with debt that costs us about 1.5% of interest. So MicroStrategy takes advantage of its positions as an operating company to do something that an ETF cannot do. An ETF can't issue junk bonds. An ETF can't issue convertible bonds. An ETF can't do like an ATM like we could do. And an ETF can't buy Bitcoin with cash flows. We have a lot of flexibility as an operating company, and we don't charge that fee. We have $4.5 billion of Bitcoin, but we don't charge $45 million per year. So the real idea here is, what if I created an investment vehicle that paid you a yield instead of charging you a fee? Well, that's the possibility with MicroStrategy. And what if I was able to borrow money at 1.5% interest? I borrowed $1 billion at 0% interest and bought Bitcoin with it. Hey, how do we get the Michael Saylor deal? How do we borrow $1 billion at 0% interest and just buy all the Bitcoin in the world? I want that deal. Wouldn't you guys? Let me know. Let's give you a theoretical. If you get a 2% yield instead of paying a 1% fee, it's a 60% difference over the lifetime of your asset. So if you have $1 billion invested and you're getting a 2% yield, you're actually picking up $20 million a year instead of paying $10 million a year. So the dynamic of the company is very important. So you can imagine that if I don't charge you a fee and if I don't have cheap leverage, the benefit accrues to the common stock shareholders because I went and I borrowed $2.2 billion at 1.5% interest, and I bought Bitcoin with it. So what's the logical theoretical yield of Bitcoin? Is it more than 1.5% a year? Well, let's say it's 15% a year. Then we're scraping 14% positive yield off of the debt. And so that would be 14% of $1 billion or more, which is actually 14% of $2.2 billion. So that would be $300 million a year that accrues to the benefit of the common stock shareholders. You see, this is the benefit of being your operating company. We can every quarter choose what to do. So some quarters we would issue junk bonds. Other quarters we would issue convertible bonds. Other quarters we would sell the equity. Other quarters we just use lose our own cash? So the answer is there's always going to be a good market and there's always going to be a bad market. There are things you should do and there are things you shouldn't do. So MicroStrategy, to make a long story short, is a bit more complicated than a spot ETF, right? If you want something plain vanilla and simple, that should basically correlate one-to-one to Bitcoin. After you pay the fee, then you buy the spot ETF. But if you wanted to actually try to outperform Bitcoin, like MicroStrategy's outperform Bitcoin, our performance over the course of 3 years is higher than Bitcoin's performance. So if you want to outperform Bitcoin or outperform the spot ETF, you would do that by creative financings. Like, for example, if our stock trades at a 30% premium and the underlying assets will sell $1 billion of equity will actually capture $300 million of accretion to our shareholders. So there you have it, coming directly from Michael Saylor. If you want me to throw in the bonus story of Cathie Wood with her latest predictions, let me know and I'll throw them in. But let me check the chat. Let me sip on some water and let's go. Thanks again, Zero. I appreciate that, my fam. Much love, much respect. Skins, welcome, fam. Stacking on the red days. Will this be my first halving? Oh, it will be your first halving. Well, congratulations. It's about to get lit. Let's freaking go. Bitcoin financial freedom. Tell your loved ones when they don't understand or believe, says Daniel. We are here to help one another, brothers and sisters. That's right, broskies and siskies. I appreciate y'all. Many people treat Bitcoin like a stock investing, wanting to get rich and fiat with it. Understand the tech and see that fiat doesn't matter. Only stacking sats and hodling forever. Very well said. No. And one Bitcoin will always be equivalent to one Bitcoin, regardless of the fiat price action. So the fiat price is kind of irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. What's up, my man? Great show today. Thank you, Morgan Parker. Greatly appreciate that. Glad you enjoyed the show. Did everyone cast their vote for when spot ETF approvals for the live poll? Please do cast your vote if you haven't already done so. I greatly appreciate that. I'm going to continue to read some more comments. Best time to buy Bitcoin is January of 2009. And every day after. Facts. Hello from Clearwater, my old stomping grounds. Shout out to DCA. BTC, appreciate it, my fam. Let's go. New York, pump it up. Send it. Yes, from Santa Maria, California. Word up. Good stuff. The whole free world will adopt it, says Corona. Word, it's a coming. Bonus, yes, just another fool. You guys want to hear the bonus story? Real quick prediction of Cathie Wood I transcribed. Let me throw that in as a little bonus for you guys. If you're appreciating the content today, be sure to smash the like. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate it, my fam. So yeah, in an interview with Bloomberg, here's what Cathie Wood recently shared. We went to a bear case and bull case. Our bull case is 1.5 million per Bitcoin. Our base case is 682,000. No one reason internally our confidence has increased towards the bull case. Oh, one reason why it increased is what happened during the regional bank crisis back in March. What happened as regional banks are going bankrupt and the stocks are imploding across the board for the KRE, Bitcoin rallied from 19 to 30,000. Why did that happen? That was a flight to safety. That is the insurance policy that we are talking about that we believe everyone will want at the end of the day. I like that. Bitcoin is an insurance policy. Do you have your insurance? Stack those stats. Now, an insurance policy against two things. Number one, confiscation of wealth. Preach, either directly or by inflation or in the deflation world. That's right. Bitcoin is a hedge against deflation as well as inflation. What's the other hedge against? It's a hedge against counterparty risk. We won't have an 0809 with Bitcoin. Everything is decentralized and transparent with no obfuscation. So there you have it, my crypto fam. Let me know your thoughts surrounding her bull case and her base case. And I actually have a chart I'm going to pull up right here as well. Bitcoin likely to scale into a multi-trillion-dollar market. Cathie Wood projects the crypto market cap hitting $25 trillion. And by 2030, the bull case shows us hitting 1.48 million. As you can see in this chart, you can see the base case is 682,000 with the bear case, which is a worst case scenario of 258,000 $100,000 per BTC. Let me know if you agree or disagree with Kathy Wood of ARK Invest. Welcome, Watch from Tampa Bay. Oh, snap, my old stomping grounds. I lived in the Tampa Clearwater area before relocating to Puerto Rico. Let them know, JV, Bitcoin has no top because fiat has no bottom. They can't stop it. Hodl, my friends. That's right, Joel Thompson, 100%. You hit the nail on the head. Versey says thumbs up. I appreciate that, Versey. Thank you so much. And I appreciate your super chat earlier before the show even began. Much love. Perma boys are so annoying. I doubt this dude can hoop. Come on, dog. You challenged me to a hooping game. 1v1, let's go. I'm going to school you like the professor, dog. I could talk my ish, right? Bitcoin to 1.48 million is inevitable. You already know, Barry. Let's go. Why Puerto Rico? Why not? It's a beautiful place to be. Have you ever lived in Puerto Rico? Have you ever visited this Caribbean island? Let me know. It's amongst my favorite places to be, hence why I moved here. It wasn't forced to move here. I chose to move here, clearly. AD, I appreciate you subscribing to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. Let's freaking go. But yeah, there's also a lot of incentives. If you didn't know, Puerto Rico is considered the crypto mecca of the United States. There's a lot of incentives to moving out here, being in crypto especially, as there are zero capital gains taxes if you qualify under Act 60 and you make Puerto Rico your primary residence. And that includes not only real estate, but cryptocurrency as well. So if you like to benefit from zero capital gains tax, you may consider relocating. Also, Puerto Rico is a part of the United States, so you don't need to even get a passport. You don't need to denounce your citizenship. So it just makes it easy for people in the United States to relocate here and take advantage of the benefits. That's why Peter Schiff lives here. That's why Logan and Jake Paul live here. Probably why Ricky Martin lives here. And a lot of influencers that have created a lot of wealth because they want to protect their wealth, just FYI. First things first, 222,000 per Bitcoin. I am patient. And Fax has been calling $222,000 Bitcoin for the longest time. So much respect. Let's get it. I am bullish and still not bullish enough. I feel you, dog. Eye of the beholder. I feel the same way. I can relate. Why Puerto Rico? Because he is with the Bitcoin makes the rules. That's right. He who has the Bitcoin makes the rules, quoting Max Kaiser. You got that right. Emilio, no taxes on Bitcoin, capital gains. So there's zero capital gains tax if you qualify under Act 60. You can look into it. The other advantage is there are no federal income taxes. Instead, we pay 4% corporate local tax. So that can be significant as an entrepreneur. Hypothetically saying, let's say your business produces $1 million net income in the United States. Well, at the end of the year, you probably got to pay $300,000 to $400,000 in taxes, probably roughly between 30 to 40%, depending upon what state you live. Well, here it's 4%, right? So 4% on $1 million of net income is roughly $40,000. So instead of paying $300,000 to $400,000, you can minimize your tax liability to literally $40,000 for every $1 million of profit. You know what I mean? So those are some of the incentives of being out here. 2 years straight, still not discouraged. It'll happen. Amen. It's going to happen. I believe in you, fam. How much is the cost for a house? All depends upon the location. As you know, real estate, it's all about location. There's houses in Dorado, 10, 20, 30, 40 million dollars. You know what I mean? There's houses where I live in my community. Maybe they range from $500,000 to $2 million, depending upon, you know what I mean, the amenities and things of this nature. So it all depends upon your location. But I would say probably for $500,000, you can buy a pretty decent house. I would consider nice in a pretty decent to nice area. If you only had a couple $100,000, I don't think you can buy a nice house in a nice area, but you may be able to purchase a nice condo, you know what I mean, where you're connected to other apartments style in a nice area with some nice amenities. So it all depends upon your budget. My recommendation is come visit the island, check it out for yourself and see if you like it, you know what I mean, and get the experience firsthand. I visited the island before relocating, clearly. No taxes. Puerto Rico is what the Bitcoin makes the rule. You got that right. Yes, send it. Give me your like, fam. Let's go. Sheesh. What do you think about ordinals? I don't have a lot of experience with NFTs. However, according to some maxis, they think ordinals are a terrible idea because it's congesting the blockchain. I don't know. I know that's a problem, but there tends to be a solution to every problem. And it seems like there are multiple different solutions to that. So I don't have a lot of thoughts. I don't know if it's overall a good thing for Bitcoin or a bad thing. I know it's good in the sense it'll help usher in more adoption because people can use BRC20, you know what I mean, which is the Bitcoin version of an NFT. However, at the same time, I don't understand scaling the network and some of the complexities involved with that. So, you know what I mean? Just being real. Party coming in 2024, most likely. We're going to have the $100,000 fiesta. You're all invited. Make sure you're plugged into our Discord. Visit discord.cryptonewsalerts.net. One of the channels is called $100,000 Fiesta. I look forward to seeing you here and getting to meet you guys face to face. Chat, we won't ever own our own home at this rate. Our only hope is to put every dollar we could into crypto, and then 2 years we can afford a house. Says into the cosmos. Word up. Taxes in Cali for single person, 20%, making truly hard to even consider profit taking, a complete disadvantage for an American. Yeah, it's insane. I don't know how people do it in California. Like, you know what I mean? Taxes are insane. Governments are insane, and just everything surrounding it. Inflation is insane. And it doesn't look like things are going to change anytime soon, is the sad reality. Move to Puerto Rico before you cash out, says Matt. Word. Well, it's not that simple. It doesn't work in the sense where, let's hypothetically say you own 10 Bitcoin and then you decide to move to Puerto Rico and then cash out. No, you'd actually have to relocate here, purchase your Bitcoin here, and then take out while you live here. It's not as simple as, yo, you can have 10 Bitcoin and lived in New York, and now you want to take it out and not pay taxes and relocate here. It's not that simple. Hence why I moved to Puerto Rico in 2018. This is my 5th or 6th year on the island, just FYI. Real estate in California is insane. It truly is. For $500,000, you can't buy much. You know what I mean? I looked at some shacks over in San Francisco for $1 million. Literally, look like shacks. Great show, JV. Thanks. You're very welcome, Mike. I appreciate that super chat. Much love, fam. Don't forget to smash the like on your way out, guys. I greatly appreciate it. For $1,000, I can buy a plane ticket and a lawn chair, a mailbox, and a fishing pole. Seems to be this way. But anyways, we're going to continue with the uncensored version of Crypto News Alerts over on Rumble. I strongly and highly encourage you to come join us on Rumble so I can speak freely, exercising my First Amendment right. I got to be very careful about some of the topics and things I talk about here on YouTube for obvious reasons. Also, you'll notice this Procaster or Roadcaster. I got some smart pads. We're going to be doing some live JV React sessions, which are going to be lit. I'm going to be reacting to some Michael Saylor, to some Lynn Alden, new Bitcoin hip hop video, plus so much more. So I strongly encourage you all to join me right now on Rumble. Head on over to Rumble. You can go to rumble.cryptonewsalerts.net or simply go to Rumble, type in Crypto News Alerts. You'll see the live stream. I look forward to seeing you there. YouTube, I am out. Looking forward to seeing you on tomorrow's episode. Peace. Deuces, YouTube fam. Let's continue over on Rumble. I'll give everyone